Yes, all right. Call to order. It is now 11 o'clock. Let's do a roll call.
Thank you. Mayor Eduardo Martinez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robinson.
Here.
Director Whitmore.
Here.
Director Wally.
Here.
Treasurer Alvarez. And for the record, Councilmember Jimenez, it has just arrived. And Director D has just arrived. We have 7 out of 7, so we do have quorum to take action on any items on the agenda. Thank you.
Fantastic. So, agenda review. Do we have any additions, fractions, movement of items? Hearing none, we'll move on to city staff reports.
Okay, economic development will go first, if that's okay. All right, first announcement, Vice Mayor Robinson at the last meeting had requested an impact report from COVID as far as their programs are concerned. An email was sent out to the task force, but if you'd like a hard copy, we do have them available if you want to review them. Again, the RFP for economic revitalization strategy did go out. Just as an update, 52 prospective bidders have downloaded the RFP. There are 21 days remaining. Several questions have been submitted, so staff is currently working through them right now, and we will have them answered by the 18th, which is 2 weeks after they were submitted, in time for them to hopefully submit their RFPs. Bylaws is still a pending action item, so just keeping it on our radars. Another update, the surplus land tax legislation. So in coordination with community development, we actually met with Senator Aragon's office and a member of the Senate committee regarding real estate. And we talked through just the challenges that we're currently facing and how we as a city can try to find alternatives in order to activate some locations. So special thanks to Senator Aragon's staff for coordinating that meeting. And the last 2 items for economic development, one, announcement for the Richmond Rising Hub / TCC Hub. They do have a grand opening this Thursday, the 12th, from 4 to 5:30. Director Wally is in that office too, so everyone is invited. And again, we still have an active TCC facade program that is open for applications. So far, 7 businesses have applied, but none have been approved for a grant just yet. So that's from economic development. Oh, and there's a webinar this Friday for businesses who have any questions regarding the facade. Thank you, Jim.
Just a reminder that we have 2 grant applications out for ECIA and RCY. They close on March 13th at midnight. Right now, we can report that there have been 120 individuals who have initiated their applications. And we provided approximately 20 technical assistance sessions for grantees who are interested in approving. And I think we have received 10 applications today. So there's still opportunities for individuals to apply for grant funding for ECIA and RCY. So just an update on that.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. I guess I should say we're really blessed to have so much interest in Macdonald Avenue. That's really fantastic. So that's the end of the staff reports. It's time for public comment. And I'm sure there's someone here who would like to say.
So I'll take this one. So good morning, Mayor Martinez, task force members. For the record, I am Cordell Hamlin, and I have some wonderful news to share with you all. So number one, you are all invited to the State of the City's breakfast this Thursday at Layla by the Bay in Hercules. And the tickets are only $20 a person. And that includes breakfast too. So our speakers for that meeting will be Chris Kelly, Anthony Taylor, and Chanel Scales Preston, who will be talking with us about some of the challenges that they are facing in each city. So there will be breakfast too. So that's going to be wonderful. And that's one. Number two is I did want to thank Judah for his presentation last month regarding the economic development projects. It's like I looked at the project and I'm like, wow, it was like 12 and Macdonald is starting to come back to life. Slowly but surely, but it's getting better. So thank you, Judah, for that presentation. So coming up on July 9th, moving ahead. So I'm like, everyone's invited to the Contra Costa Mayor's Conference on July the 9th, and it's hosted by the city of San Pablo. So I will get more info somewhere around early June. But you do have to RSVP ahead. So, and the tickets are only $80 a person, and that includes dinner, drink, and dessert. So let's see, coming up, oh, on March 24th, it just bounced on me. There's gonna be a RCOC breakfast, and our speaker for that meeting will be Supervisor John Joy, who will be talking with us about economic development. So it's on the 24th, it's at the Courtyard Marriott, and tickets this time is only $25. So, and that includes breakfast too. There may be some orange juice, maybe some coffee, who knows? But the final thing is I have is a future agenda request. And I was looking at the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce's website, and I'm thinking to myself, we need to have invite them to come talk to us about some of what their organization does, and so like collaborating, like for RCOC and SF Chamber of Commerce. It's like that's not a bad idea. Having I was thinking that we can have the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce to come at a future time to tell us more about their organization, and I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. Yes.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Thank you, Cardinal, for mentioning the Richmond Chamber event. And we are in the process of scheduling a meeting between the Richmond Chamber, San Francisco Chamber, Latino Chamber, San Francisco Black Chamber, so we can collaborate, because we want to invite more people here to Richmond to see what we are. So we want to catch the ferry over. East Brothers has a facility in San Francisco now, so that's the planned location. And we want to invite all three chambers here to Richmond as well. So we'll keep you updated.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Last question.
Yes.
What time is the breakfast on the 24th?
8 o'clock.
All right, if that's all the public comment is closed, and you will move on to presentations, discussions, and action items. First things, subcommittee goals.
Oh, I apologize, Mr. Mayor. Item number 6 is approval of the meeting minutes from the 24th.
Thank you so much. I'm always trying to jump ahead, so I need a motion.
I motion to approve the meeting.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. So raise hands if everyone approves. Okay, and see that we're unanimous.
Thank you.
And now, not to repeat what I said, we can move on to the subcommittee goals. We had agreed upon in the minutes.
We had, board of selectors. It's on page 8. On the bottom left paragraph. Mhm. I think the main names are also listed under 8.
Yeah. Parking beautification. Especially dense parking garage and traffic calming.
Mhm.
And we were supposed to have taken the time to figure out which of the committees we felt more affinity for. So have people decided? Yes,
I had the buy local. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Shelby, yes,
For me, the garage and traffic calming.
okay,
For Sarah, special events and holidays.
I'm gonna do our community. Um. with,
Garbage and traffic calming.
I like to focus on the buy local business level.
Okay.
And second, art and beautification.
Okay.
And I would also like to add for my second art and beautification.
So, so, anyone else? I guess that leaves me, so. I will put my name on traffic. And special events as number 2. And not to leave Goofy alone, I'm going to have that number 3.
Oh, I have Claudia's with me though too.
A garage.
Right?
Garage and traffic are
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
Oh,
And traffic.
Are you doing
partner,
art?
I am there.
oh,
Doing
okay,
arts.
so. Okay, yeah. Oh, well then, you're not alone. You have me and Claudia.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Who's on, who all is on events?
I'll join that. I can join it too, Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'll do that in a second.
Events?
Yes, I'll
Okay.
do this with.
Just to know.
Yeah, just for clarification, through the chair, only 3 members can be in the subcommittee, so
Right.
it may go through the list as I've written them down. So art and beautification, I have Treasurer Alvarez, Vice Mayor Robinson, and Director Wally. Does that match up with everyone?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, special events currently, I have Director Wally, the mayor, and Director Deneen.
What director who?
Deneen,
that's me.
Deneen, sorry, I'll just formality. Okay, for garage and traffic calming, the Director Deneen, Councilmember Jimenez, and the mayor.
Yes.
And last quarter, focused by local, I have Director Whitmore and Vice Mayor Robinson, just 2.
Okay.
And 2 is enough for a subcommittee as well, too, just, you don't have to have 2.
Okay.
I have one proposal for you guys. Because you guys both signed up for special events. And it would be nice to have 3 people on the business thing. So I'm wondering if we can't switch you, Sarah, to the corridor by local and business uplift, and then have Vernon do the special events with Eduardo and Ruthie, because then we'd have 3 people in all, and then we can get both of the business supporting entities on the business thing. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So currently, both Sarah and Vernon wanted to do the special events and holiday. And we only have 2 people focused on the quarter, focused by local and business uplift.
Mhm.
But I was thinking if we could switch and have Sarah be on the business by local and business with Vernon and myself, then there's 3 people there.
Okay.
And then that would also allow Vernon then to be on the special events, there'd be 3 people there. So we get the people that are focused on business and the
Yeah.
business, and then
Yeah, I like that.
get support on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So then, there's moving to Sarah from the special events, correct?
The mayor, yeah, I'm sorry. So for clarification, special events and holidays would be the mayor, Director Deneen, and Director Whitmore. And then corridor focused by local, Director Whitmore, Vice Mayor Robinson, and Director Wally. Great.
Again, it doesn't mean that we can't comment and hear feedback and give feedback when they get the reports. Just,
Yeah, we can only do that when
we're here.
yeah, from here, yes, I'm sorry.
So I wonder, I think we will need, is for this thing. Like I am in the garage and traffic calming. I feel like we will need the public works. And there is the new planner who is coming from Alameda to be working here, and I think she will be excellent in helping us with this as well. So I just want that we talk to Chasa and Daniel so they know that somebody is going to be working particularly in this. There is a traffic calming division and the plan is there. That's how.
Yeah, so in terms of communicating with staff for needs, we should go through you. The staff people here, so that, you know, if we have any needs, we'll communicate with you. It can be done through email, it doesn't have to be at a meeting. You know, so that, and then we can report back, next time we meet, you know, let people know. Well, yeah, that'll be part of the updates for the meetings.
I just wanted to kind of like clarify, so we are doing these groups, so who is going to staff that so we can help us schedule the meetings and that part of the logistics?
We can coordinate the meetings.
Oh, okay, thank you. So do we have a particular staff for each group, or do you like, we will figure it out?
Once we establish what day and time that you want to meet, then we'll assign a staff person. It won't always be the whole group.
Yeah,
It'll be just one.
okay, thank you.
So we'll reach out to you all separately and find out what dates that you want, date and times that you want to meet, teams or in person, you know, those kind of logistics, and then we'll set up the becoming meetings. So
Thank you.
And is it possible in the spirit of our momentum that we talk a bit about outcomes, timelines and goals as a group, so that when we break into our subcommittees, we are all tracking on the same plan?
Yeah, and another question, would it be possible to break up into subcommittees during this meeting? So that we don't have staff scattered in different meetings. You know, we could break them up into different rooms at this particular time. Just a suggestion.
Because we double up, not sure that all of the groups can meet because people have 2 assignments.
Yeah, that's true. And
That's a good point.
maybe the alternate Tuesday, if this time is available for the subcommittees, the same time slot on the alternate Tuesday that the whole group doesn't meet.
I like that idea, and then we can report in at this meeting.
yeah. We could do the first 2 1 week and the second 2 in this week. Right, just no overlaps, that way. You would have a subcommittee the first week, and I would have on the second week, and otherwise. We do it that way.
Or half hour. You know, it's not enough,
No.
okay.
So the question remains, do we discuss goals and objectives for each group now? Yes.
I'd like to at least come up with a container, like goals for what time period. You know, then we could go away and figure out what the specific goals would be for that time period, but if we're all working within the same time period, I would hope. Hopefully. Could we do like 12-week like short-term goal, and then also where we were, where we want to be by the end of the year. You know,
So that would be the objective.
two, two sets of goals. Maybe three.
Yeah,
90 days,
12 weeks and
90 days,
okay.
6 months.
Yeah.
And 5 years, like
Calendar or fiscal year.
calendar
I
year.
guess.
So I think we have the goal around producing the
The draft RFP.
right, well, not the draft RFP, but the
Draft consulting report.
yeah. Mhm.
So the objective is 12 months.
It's not exactly 12 months anymore. It's more like 9 months.
Yeah.
So it's like three months, 6 months and 9 months. So we would work in our groups to come up with those different sets of goals.
All right, so then tell me, so within the subcommittees, are these advisory groups, are these action groups, is there budget, or what are the logistics for gathering data?
I think we're putting together. Suggested to bring back to this group what the goals should be in these different areas for these time periods. And it's really a plan.
And it's all advisory because it has to go before council.
Yep.
So we're advising basically, so for our beautification, for example, a list of possible priorities to fund for the council to vote on
Right.
within the next year. Okay.
So some can happen faster, right? I mean, we can probably get some very tangible deliverables in
Yeah.
the arts that can happen within, I mean, actually be
Yeah.
implemented.
I think the 3, 6, 9 months is deadlines. You know, things can happen before that.
Yeah.
So then, shall we do this group by group at this time?
Then maybe if we broke up the time that we have left in the meeting. Into, 5 minutes for this or 10 minutes for this, and then really keep it there, because you can. We have. And then it's gonna be. Yeah. Oh, so like 5 minutes. 5 minutes each.
We have, okay, so that will leave 15 minutes for the soccer presentation. So at 11:45, we'll stop this and we'll move on to the soccer. Okay, so let's start art and beautification.
I think we mentioned identifying places where murals could go. And talking to the property owners to see if they could support such a thing. We also talked about identifying shorter term things like banners. It's beautiful. Those are the two that I remember.
I'll add in a couple.
Oh, sorry, I have notes. I apologize for not preparing them ahead of time. So for the arts and beautification, the first project proposed was the murals program, coordinating murals for businesses using the facade funding. There's the arts corridor development, developing a strategic plan similar to the 23rd Street Arts Corridor. Artist approval program, an expedited artist approval process. Downtown banners. Lighting improvements and holiday lighting. This is what I had so far.
And I'll add a few more on, again, a small format, but in places that potentially can have a big impact. We have quite a few boarded up buildings that don't have any murals on them. We know that from Harbor Way down to Eighth, we have some murals, but we do have some buildings that are up between 15th and Marina Way that could have murals on them
We've
currently.
already mentioned murals.
Okay, so I'm just talking about short term. Okay, thank you.
No, I think we need to identify them all and then figure out which ones are take less time, like banners is a quick fix.
Like the banners in the plaza.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's, that's something we can do quickly, whereas the lighting would take more time because we have to figure out where the lighting would go and then get the funds and then, maintenance and operations has a long list of things to do. And so that would probably be one of the later one, and then the artist approval is something that would have to happen through the city. We would have to.
I think we have to talk about that process, right? What does that look like? I know
Yeah.
that Brian suggested
Right.
a list of vetted out artists, but what is that process?
And then the arts corridor, would basically be a long-term thing with no visible outcome immediately, because, first of all, we have to find out what they're doing and then figure out how we can fit into to their plans. And then the holiday lighting, I think, should be yeah.
So yeah, I think that this is like the topics, and then the subcommittee goes away and
Discusses.
smart goals.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And some of these things might fall off or might be more longer term things, and some of them might get more detail.
Right.
Like I could see with the downtown lighting, we could ask how it works, what they're already doing, what their current plan is, and then see if there needs documentation, or if there needs more than that. But at least we can gather
Yeah,
that.
okay, so we can save that for your.
Just adding two more things to that too, from Villager Renaissance preliminary data. I pulled some of it. The top two requests from the community were murals was one of those.
Okay, I want to stop you. That should be the conversation with your group. Right now, we have 3 other groups that we need to find.
Oh, I just wanted to performance art and green art.
Oh, okay, so that would be under special events and holidays. Okay, so let's do special events and holidays next.
Okay, through the chair, just from the notes from the last meeting, 1, pop-up music series, host music events at the lot. Arts corridor, reoccurring performances to activate the arts corridor. A downtown holiday event. I had a note about Sequoia and open streets, a weekly Sunday bicycle and pedestrian event. A downtown cleanup day, and expanded event space, extended use of the lot, or identify additional event locations.
And for clarification, we already have the existing downtown holiday festival with East Bay Center and Richmond Main Street. So what we talked about as a proposal was a beach relighting in the community garden.
Okay, you know what, I think at this point, we can get into the weeds discussing that. I think we should just list the topics. And then, when we get into our groups, we can have the conversation that you want to have right now. So let's move on.
There is also the Ciclovia, because it's on.
He mentioned that.
It's
Sequoia, open streets, yes, I have listed.
oh, okay, perfect,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, okay, so then, the garage and traffic calming.
Okay. Through the chair, projects, number 1, parking garage activation. 13th Street parking lot improvements. This is the open parking lot across from the Social Security building. Another item was traffic calming on 11. Left turn restrictions. Evaluate restrictions near the East Bay Center. And the last item on that was lighting improvements for safety, such as additional lighting around 15th and Macdonald.
Yes.
2 things, lighting improvements came up in both art beautification and in the garage. In traffic, I'd like to understand where it should be, so we're not asking the same questions in two places.
The lighting under beautification, I think is more about decorative lights, whereas, under garage and traffic calming is around safety.
So. Here, and then the other thing was, one of the things that we said about the garage was wanting to work with Lena to get kind of information on this state of the garage and whether or not you know, what it would need, like
Right, so-
structurally and otherwise.
That's part of the activation.
That's not exactly activation, that's like assessment. And I just wanna make it clear,
Yeah.
because activation is like making so that it's not, is this used more, is this biblical feel, and they wanna use it like
Yeah,
that.
and in my mind, before using it, you have to see whether or not it's usable and to what extent it's usable.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is that if we are including it as a part of the 12th and Macdonald project, there's a whole realm of things that developers want to know about the state of the garage that has to do with structural integrity and everything that you would not need to know if you felt comfortable going in and using it or not. It's a little bit more detailed. And so I just want to make sure that we're gathering that information.
Yeah, we can write that down, but once again, I think that that's part of the process of activating. Anyway, then we go to corridor focused by local business uplift.
Okay, and through the chair, so the buy local campaign, which economic development is currently working on. We have the facade improvement program. And we have the on-demand business support program. One idea was the business grant program specifically designed for Macdonald Avenue businesses. And identification of small business development grants.
Okay, I asked about the facade because the facade is in another group. I understand. The number,
We also mentioned that a project that would uplift the existing, I think I called them last time, like jewels of downtown. So like the existing cool places that people might not know about, and having a kind of marketing campaign around them that focuses buy local on buy bistro on, you know, like these kind of gratitude shop on these jewels that are in downtown that maybe a lot of people don't know about.
So we should just have facade there. And because there's enough things to focus on in all the other or in all the other subgroups. All right, so. And then how shall we organize our meetings? Shall we form email groups for each one and you communicate with that or through Messenger or some other. You're gonna be no person. You're gonna be no person.
I do it all.
I think like the staff is going to help us to set up that, so email will be the best way.
And just clear that everyone goes away and comes back with, you know, these bullet points transformed into SMART goals, like measurable, time bound, all that.
All right, so I think we're ready to roll. In that case, we'll move on. Did you have a question?
Yeah. I realize, just thinking ahead, that, you know, financially and how much money is available will probably come up in each group as we come up with the ideas. And so just tagging that for when that happens.
Maybe we should also create just draft ballpark budgets.
Perfect.
So we have a sense of at least what we think of where we stand today, what it would take to do these things. I'm sure it'll change over time.
And I think the budget should come from the groups based on what they want to do. And, you know, because like I said, it all comes back to the city council and the city council to decide whether or not it's doable.
That's good.
All right, then, it's time to move on to the soccer proposal, Dr. Macdonald. And, I understand Gloria had questions that she wanted to answer. So did you want to ask those questions first so that they can address them?
Right. So here are my concerns. My concerns are that the ultimate goal for $12 million is develop it into some kind of a economic development engine. Ideally, it would include housing, but ultimately it would be adding to the tax base of the city of Richmond and acting as an anchor for the downtown, which we do not have many anchors right now that really are the reason why people would want to come downtown. And so we don't only need traffic downtown, we actually need more reasons to come downtown, you know, and when the reasons to come downtown, we want that reason to be connected to something that will produce sales tax revenue, employer tax revenue, not just to come downtown to hang out, but actually to produce the kinds of revenue that can help grow our general fund. Because we get a lot of people that are hanging out, but not growing the general fund, it's not meeting the full need. So my concern is that the proposed soccer fields will not do that. It may drive income for mobile vendors, but they do not contribute to the tax base in the same way as brick and mortar employers do. The second is that it's said that it's short term, but I know from my own experience working in community that if a lot of energy and money and resources and sweat equity go into building out this complex of things, and then we come in a year or two and want to take it away, that it will be tragic. It will be in the news. It will be extremely difficult to move that, and it'll make the developer look like pariah. It'll make the city look like we're just evil, and it's like a whole setup for a terrible situation that I don't want to see. My third concern is that I would much rather invest resources in creating long-term permanent soccer infrastructure according to the plan that we had already outlined, which we took time, city time, contractors time to identify places where we could build more soccer fields. We only started on the first 3, which they're going to be done starting in June. So those are actual fields that are, some of them multi-use, some of them are, one of them is well, actually they're all multi-use, but still that's more fields for all of them. They're going to be ready for use in June, and that took us 2 years to get that far along. And there are other ones that are named in that plan that I feel like the city staff and our city resources should be used on, so we have permanent infrastructure. I think that we could better use our time looking at Point Melade was mentioned and other places for large scale fields, kind of that we see in Berkeley. Again, permanent infrastructure. Let's invest in permanent infrastructure. I don't think the soccer community is going anywhere. Let's do permanent things that make permanent transformations instead of, it's March, April, May, June. FIFA is here in June in 3 months. Instead of having this big shift in energy and focus and resources, even though it says it's not going to be city resources, it is going to be city resources because the city's going to need to facilitate the whole thing in order for it to happen. And then we were setting ourselves up for these types of really confrontational situations where I don't think we need to, where I think we could invest those resources in long-term solutions that put soccer fields in all of our neighborhoods that make, it really a part of our culture and the fabric of our city. So those are the things. I have a financial concern. I have a concern around where we invest our resources. I have a concern around it blowing up in our faces down the line when we need to change course. And I feel like we could use our time and our energy for me really supporting soccer in the city in a permanent way.
So, we have someone here to speak on behalf of the soccer.
Well, I have a comment too.
Yes.
I agree with Dorian. Even in my Catholic church, we say if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. We need tax revenue and we need an economic engine downtown. Plus, I think it's premature that has our RFQ going out there.
I'm sorry.
For the consultant.
Right,
Yeah.
for the consultant that wants to develop downtown, I think we need to give them the opportunity to really see what we're gonna do before all of a sudden we put a soccer field downtown.
Just to add to that, I'm about to say the other concern is that if I was somebody who was looking to develop property and there was a beloved community institution being built on it, I would not want to build there. We have a whole bunch of other concerns with wanting to build in Richmond in general. And to put that on top of it makes our effort to develop the property more difficult and maybe impossible.
Okay, yeah, so we have very little time for the soccer people to make their presentation, so if you would. Who's speaking for the soccer club?
Well,
Okay.
any more comments though before we move forward? No, just want to get people checked. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Samantha Flores. I am here today as president of the Richmond Soccer Club. I want to thank you all for putting the time and consideration into this serious proposal. As Councilmember Robinson mentioned, Vice Mayor Robinson mentioned, the FIFA World Cup is less than 100 days away. Okay. It is expected, the World Trade Organization states that $17 billion in economic injection into the economy is coming because of the FIFA World Cup. Over 7 million visitors are coming to the region. Local games are going to be played at Levi Stadium, a mere 40 miles from here. Here in Richmond, we have Amtrak, BART, ferry stations, major highways. We are a principal city that people are connecting from Northern California and the Sacramento area into San Francisco. People will be coming through our area for FIFA World Cup activities. The question is whether Richmond's going to be left out of that pot of money. It is also expected to generate, let's see, how many jobs? 185,000 jobs, full-time jobs are expected to be generated because of this event. So are we going to miss out on the opportunity for our local businesses to expand schedules, add overtime shifts because of an increased number of people coming into downtown? Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, it's unreasonable to expect that we're going to have any of that coming in from Richmond. The reality is we're not expecting it to come here. It's already here. So what we're trying to do is activate the energy that's already here and give people a reason to spend it here instead of going to Berkeley or San Francisco or Marin. Give people a reason to stay here. Activate the community we have here. Give them a chance to invest in our local businesses. For example, VA Kitchen, one of my favorite Chinese restaurants in town, by the way, they serve boba. You guys know how much my daughter, she'll drink boba every day if she could. You know how many kids don't realize that you can get a boba drink in downtown Richmond? These are the kinds of things that if kids come into downtown, as you say, hang out, they're going to want to spend $5-6 for a boba drink every day that they come to watch their friends play. Every day after practice, good job, scored a goal, let's get you a boba. That's just one short example of how we are bringing energy into our downtown businesses. And the last thing I'll say, well, maybe not the last thing, but the last thing I will say is that, are we going to let Richmond miss out on this opportunity to allow blight and vacant land? There's nothing there currently. There's no plans there currently. We are missing out on an opportunity because of hopes and prayers that something's going to happen in the near future. Now, I appreciate the comment about a beloved community institution, because honestly, that speaks a lot to a lot of the truths in our community. You give people an opportunity to enjoy recreation in our community, and people will take advantage of it. They'll go to downtown to play soccer, to watch their kids play, to watch their friends play, to play themselves, right? So even though we're talking about this as a hypothetical, it gets me really excited for us here to acknowledge that this could become a beloved community institution. And instead of looking at it as a tragedy that we're going to be kicking everybody out, it could be an opportunity to highlight the new soccer complex that's going to be built, or the new field that's being built, right? We could call this a transition. We could call this an opportunity, right? So as much as I appreciate all the time that you guys have spent on this, I also want housing to be built here as the president of my organization and as a resident, as a parent, as a taxpayer. I want housing to be built at 12th and Macdonald. The truth is it hasn't happened in 15 years. As far as I know, Metro Walk 2 is being delayed and it has been delayed for about going on 2.5, 3 years now. So it's not that housing isn't coming, it's that there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of issues, it's complex. And in the meantime, we're asking to activate something in the meantime. And I know that there's a lot of questions about, well, how long is in the meantime? And if you're investing, I know there's a lot of questions about this. All of this is negotiable, folks. And that's why from the beginning, I've said it really depends what kind of policy, what kind of document you want from us. I proposed the Lexington Fields MOU because that is something that's been very successful in Alameda. Activation of vacant land at Alameda Point, the former naval base that the city of Alameda has. And it's renewed every year because they don't have development plans. And yet it's a lively, active part of Alameda Point. So I'm asking for something similar. I'm asking for you to consider how Richmond can activate vacant land for recreation to meet some of our community's needs in the meantime. And whatever policy document you want that has some sort of termination date, some sort of termination plan, we can work with that. Okay. I'm here for questions. That's all I really wanted to state. Thank you.
I'd like to express my opinion. I think at the beginning, I was actually thinking this is not such a good idea, but the more I think about it, the better it becomes to me. I support having temporary soccer fields, knowing that it is a temporary, not a permanent thing. And if the lease is for a year, it's for a year, and then we move on. I see this as a way to bring youth, families to downtown. We need people downtown, and nothing is going to happen to that lot for years. That means that we're not missing out on taxes because there are no taxes coming in. There won't be any taxes coming in until something is built, and nothing's going to be built for several years. And you have a chance to bring business to downtown. I think there's a synergy between the people who will be coming downtown and what we have there already. We have the food court on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we have all the other businesses there. And it is a low burden on the city. I'm comfortable with supporting the Richmond United Soccer Club because they have offered to help and to manage whatever needs to be done. And it's a test case for activating lots. We haven't done that, and we need to do it sometime, somewhere, somehow. And this is a perfect opportunity to do it, especially since the World Cup is coming. It's doing this pilot will help us learn what works, what doesn't work, and it can help us create a model for temporary activation downtown and elsewhere. Like I said, the long-term goal is housing, but it's not here yet. It will take time. And I understand that some people worry about the community growing attached, but they themselves have said that they will move on when the time comes. And if anyone will look badly, it will be them reneging on their deal. It won't be the city looking back. So I think that we have a bigger vision for downtown, and this is just a way of showing that the city of Richmond cares for the needs of its community, and that we're willing to do whatever is possible to help them realize fulfilling those needs. And the soccer fields that was mentioned that are going to be built, can, when it's time to migrate, we can migrate. But even with those fields, we don't have enough soccer fields. So we could we could pave the entirety of Richmond and still not have enough soccer fields for the needs. And I know that's a hyperbole, but I think there's some truth behind it. So in closing, I see this as a practical, a low-risk pilot. It brings families downtown, supports local activity, and allows us to learn how to activate vacant spaces. So it also keeps a long-term vision for housing and development in place. So I think it's one of the first high-profile deliverables that we can provide.
I have a quick comment. So I think ideally the idea is interesting to me. I was a soccer kid when I was little. It was a big part of my life. I think logistically, I mean, that's from kind of following what Vice Mayor Robinson is saying, because I'm just thinking logistically. So if we started today, right, phase 1 ends in August, phase 2 starts in September when the field is up, or it looks like maybe 3 months, then winter starts. So this thing, the first soccer field is kind of not even fully functional until it's almost a year from now, it looks like. And you had mentioned last time you projected it to be a 2-year project, which means you'd be investing potentially $500,000 to put up fences. And if we were across the street from that lot, it's, you know, full primary recession, like there's, you know, after a rainstorm, we 3 feet of grass and the ground is very lumpy. So it took a lot of work and a lot of money to actually put in artificial turf. I'm having a hard time understanding investing maybe $500,000 into putting up this entire lot, taking a year to do it, and then having it for 1 year and then walking away. But then there's also phase 2. Phase 2 would mean it's not a 2-year project because you're spending 1 year developing the first one, another year developing the second one. So it doesn't seem like a 2-year project. And then I start to worry, same thing. We have an RFP open for the lot. I wouldn't, as an investor at the same thought, I wouldn't bid on this if I saw that it's already being used. I don't agree that the community would blame or would put responsibility on the development of the soccer field managers to renege on a contract. I think it would look just bad in the city. So I think all the community sways with just, you know, feelings and vibes. And I think if the idea is, oh, you're taking away a kid's soccer field, because it is a 9x9 and a lot of kids play on this potentially, with a phase 2 developing, oh, they're getting rid of the first field, they're going to cancel the second, and all of a sudden maybe you're, oh, but they just spent so much money developing this. I feel like it would actually just bias against the city, even if that was the agreement. I don't think people are going to take the time to read an agreement as much as they're just sitting the top. So it just logistically, it doesn't make a lot of sense yet in terms of how, with the amount of money invested, the long-term nature of the project, and then the potential that it would just suddenly end in 2 years and be fine. It doesn't. It's the live check.
Anyone else?
I will comment that as we do have 3 soccer fields coming on, that can be a very viable use for the soccer club, right? We do understand that there used to be just 1 soccer field, but I also know that there are vetted other fields that could be permanent, as Vice Mayor Robinson stated, that could probably more quickly transition into another soccer field. And that if the goal is to get one standing up as quickly as possible, that either looking at the 3 that are coming out in order to launch for FIFA, which seems to be the goal, but isn't realistic as Brian's been speaking, because the timeline is much too long to get that site ready, and there's enormous amount of city work, but that it wants to be added as an asset as permanent in the city. And that permanence, as the mayor said, we'll never have enough soccer fields. So investing in permanence in areas that already are ready and prepared because they've been looked at could be a wonderful and easy transition. I do have concerns about obviously the timeline. But also that in the RFP, this is a major undertaking, this is a master plan that we're looking at. And potentially, who is looking at that as a consultant could also have bright eyes as to what's happening down here. And we want to support soccer and what's the easiest transition, and having the long-term investment here for really what sounds to be like a very short term doesn't seem realistic for the project, but also in keeping with what is going to happen down there. Granted, no, we don't have housing today, but there is an enticement and an excitement about that opportunity. And I'm talking about the logistics, of course, in respecting East Bay Center and what's happening on 11th Street. We already have challenges on 11th Street that we'll talk about in our subcommittee. And I think we have an opportunity here through our subcommittees to really lean into what our short-term opportunities are, 90 days, 6 months, by the end of the year, and take into account the traffic calming, potentially the garage, pop-ups, and work within our plan might be more peaceful for what our group was missioning for.
Through the chair,
Yes.
just advising it's 11:56. We have 4 minutes left in this task force meeting.
Okay, I would propose, I don't think we have enough information to actually make a decision. I would propose that staff bring us back a timeline of the building of the soccer fields so that we have a better idea of what to expect in terms of soccer fields. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's also, I don't have any sense of how the infrastructure to support this will be paid for, the budget or any sense of budget. Like, I can't support anything without understanding exactly how it will be paid for, and not just the soccer fields, but the infrastructure that will support all the organizations around it. For example, the parking structure. I'm very, very concerned about safety in that area and how that will all work together. So for me, it's like the budget, it's the timeline, it's the parking structure, how parking will work in that whole area, it's safety, fencing, all of that together.
Yeah, I asked last time, that one of the things that it should come with the project was a budget of like, but I don't know if, because you say that here we don't make a decision about directing staff to come out with kind of like how much will cost to really have these as a soccer field with the fencing and with the things that it needs to be done to be able to function as soccer. So if I wonder if that is something that we can have also in this, but I don't know if this is the space to direct staff to do that.
This is a space to direct staff. It's the city council that decides whether or not it's done.
So we will need to have that information as well.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Business owners are listed as members. Is it okay if I speak or? On behalf of this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Samantha shared 2 things. One, the soccer, the temporary soccer field, and 2, FIFA coming. So there is a way to activate downtown for FIFA. Vibe has been in meetings with both the Super Bowl and FIFA about screening. So we have 3 big screens. So there's a way to activate downtown for the soccer conversation for the entire corridor. So every business can show it on their screens, and maybe there could be an outdoor screening. And so in support of the soccer club, which I am slightly biased, I get that. Maybe the soccer club can be in collaboration with FIFA coming downtown and screening. And then there can be a conversation of where that soccer field can go. So you get 2 birds with 1 stone. Activate FIFA conversations downtown and figure out how to get some momentum about the soccer club finding either a home or a temporary home. So maybe there's an announcement for the big field, the permanent fields that member Bobby mentioned, you know, building up momentum to they're going here. But I think there can be both conversations. So I do support them finding a permanent home somewhere. And I also support the temporary field, but I'm just in support of kids having a great place to be in, families too.
Okay, thank you. Well, it is now 12 o'clock. We need to extend time if we want to finish this item. So I make a motion to extend enough time to finish this item. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so. All right, so, at this point, we have asked, yes.
So, in terms of bringing back more information, I'd like to have a economic cost benefit analysis. Understanding clearly how many full-time jobs permanent full-time jobs would be created by having a temporary soccer field. And, you know, if we could compare that to the kinds of developments that we were proposing to see, you know, which one, like how they compare.
The kinds of developments for the empty lot.
Yes, for 12th Street.
So we have plans to do things in the empty lot before we have housing there?
No, I'm talking about development that we're trying to build. I want to.
Right, but they're two separate things.
No, they're not.
We're talking about the lot before the development.
This is my comment and I would like to finish it.
Okay.
So my comment is that I think that we need to understand clearly where these full-time jobs that are permanent are going to come from a temporary project. And if that is something that's realistic, I think that I like the idea of supporting FIFA activation downtown that doesn't necessarily need to come with the creation of these potentially very expensive fields that I believe would be very hard not to make not short term. I think that I just want to say clearly that I am a full and utter supporter of making more soccer fields in Richmond. I was a big part of getting the first assessment done. I called Marsha up to make that happen, and it wasn't even in her scope of work. And I was also one of the ones that voted and pushed for a $3 million investment. That's how we got the 3 fields that currently happen. It was $3 million from ARPA. And I will continue to support making more permanent soccer fields. But I think that we need to look at this and understand clearly that when we look at the cost analysis, get the cost for the building, understand that this would not be built, at least according to what we've seen so far, by FIFA time. And I honestly believe it's a death knell in this project of trying to activate the 12th Street lot, especially right now where you have the opportunity of the shopping center coming up for sale at the same time. I think it's a death sentence for the project. And I think that no one in their right mind would want to buy those properties and develop them if we're putting this in.
Can we add to that cost analysis if the investment, how much time we need to recover, like, because we are saying that it will be temporary, putting our money there, but temporary, what it means, like, we put $1 million or 500, what it will be the right time to recover or to make sense, because we don't want to put that money and then close it in 3 months or close it, you know?
Well, I'm thinking that when we found the lot in Santa Fe, they had weeds, they had guns and drugs in the bottom. And our good friend Bill Lindsay said, "Sorry, Vern, you don't have the money. But if you raise the money, you can convert the lot." And that's why Santa Fe Union Park is all through non-city funds. Only thing came from the city was the income. Union labor, nonprofit, we raised the $350,000 at that time 10 years ago, but now there's definitely more. But so the cost is what's bothering me. So we definitely need analysis and how much money the city is going to spend, because we're still paying maintenance for our park. And it's a city park. But Santa Fe has to pay the maintenance to still have it clean.
And I think doing a cost analysis of the money being made with the development is comparing apples to oranges if you consider the cost of putting a soccer field there before the development, because the development money's coming whether or not a soccer field is there. And no money is coming until that happens. So you know, the only thing that should be considered in the cost analysis is the amount of money that the city of Richmond puts into it, if the city of Richmond puts money into it.
Yeah.
So if there's no further comments, then this meeting is closed and we'll expect the information from staff. Thanks so much. We're done.
Thank you, everyone.